All right. So this has been a fan fiction idea that's kind of kicked around in my head for a while, and as you can see, it's a pretty unique one. Danny Phantom, Red Dead Redemption. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this story takes place in the nebulous timeline of RDR2, and Arthur. If you're wondering like where we are, this is like when they're staying at the old rundown mansion. And Arthur and John and Abigail want some time to themselves, and they basically are like. So John goes to Arthur like, "Hey, I got a request to ask," and he's like, "Sure, whatever. What do you want? What do you want to do? Can you take Jack somewhere with you, and just go play with him? Me and Abigail want some alone time. Talk over things." He's like, "Sure, yeah, come on, let's go." So he takes Jack with him, and they ride into town. They ride into Saint Denis because he's like, I'm going to take the kid to Saint Denis, because he's always wanted to see like a big town, and I saw like a bookstore there in the town. So maybe I'll get the kid some new books, and I'll take him out for food. It'll be fine. Kid's safe with me. So they ride to Saint Denis, and of course Jack is like in awe of seeing a big city, and he's like, "Wow, Uncle Arthur, this place is big. I didn't know towns could get this big." And he's like, "Yeah, they can, but this ain't living. This is just dying in a fancy place. Do you ever want to move to a city, Uncle Arthur?" And he's like, "Nah, give me open fields and grass as far as the eye can see any day. I think that'd be good." So he takes Jack there to this bookstore, and as like he's hitching his horse and taking Jack down, he notices like some guy leaning up across the street, leaning up against the post, like one of the lamp posts, and just kind of like leering at them. The guy's dressed in like black and white Western attire, and he's got like his face low, but he can see like these bright green eyes looking back at him. So Arthur's like just kind of casually shows the gun, like, "Don't try anything," and the guy just tips his hat to him, and that's it. So about 10 minutes. So they're in the bookstore for about 10 minutes, and Arthur's just kind of like, "All right, whatever." The kid's enjoying. Like he's like, "Go get you like 3 new books, and I'll pay for them." "And only 3? Can it be 5? "No, we can only carry 3. And this is it. Like, you got to make some big decisions there." So Jack's running around getting 3 books, but he's like, "I found a 4th one I really like." "Now, Jack, we said 3. And the guy comes, is like, "I'll buy them." And he's like, "Excuse me." Like Arthur turns around and like looks at the guy. Is like, "Excuse me, this is a private conversation between me and the boy. I don't think you are inclined to that." And the guy goes, I don't mean any disrespect. I'll pay for the books. I'm something of a reader myself, and I'll take care. I'll take care of things. Like I'll pay for the extra 4th book. How about that?" And he's like, "Fine." So he pays for the extra book after Arthur pays for the other 3, and Jack is like, and Arthur goes, "What do you say to the nice man?" He's like, "Thank you, mister. I wish I knew your name." And he goes, "Oh, my name's Danny. I'm from Strawberry." And he goes, and Arthur's already like kind of leery about it. It's like, "Strawberry, huh? I bet they got it's lovely up there. I've been there a few times." Kind of like he's like, "Oh yeah, we know all about you, Arthur Morgan." And he goes, "Do ya?" "Jack, go wait by the horse." "Okay." So Jack goes and waits by the horse, and Arthur like grabs Danny and like pins him against the wall, and he's like, "Who the fuck are you?" And Danny's like, "Easy. I am not with the O'Driscolls. I'm not, I'm not a bounty hunter. I'm not a Pinkerton. I'm just here to make sure, kid's safe." And he's like, "Why would the kid be kid's safe with me? And how the hell do you know about us?" And he's like, "You would not believe me if I told you." And at the same time, there's someone else watching, like someone in a big cloak, in a big hooded cloak, and it comes up to Jack, and he's like, "Hello, young man. Do you want to see something? Do you want to see something special?" He's like, "My daddy told me not to talk to strangers." "Oh, well, smart kid, but it's not going to help you, and just throws off the thing, and it's tetanus. Danny like shoves Arthur out of the way and just like he like blasts tetanus right in the face, and he's like Kid runs to him and he's like, Jack, get down, and just starts blasting away, grabs Jack and flies away, and Arthur is just like, what in the hell? He's like, how the hell am I going to explain this to Abigail and John? So he gets on his horse and follows Danny while he's in the sky carrying Jack. And Jack's like freaking out. And he's like, Danny's like, it's okay. I'm gonna make sure you're fine. It's all right. And Arthur's following him, and he's like trying to get a beat on him, but he's like, damn it, I can't hit it. Like I might hit the kid. So he's already like already worried and freaking out and shit like that. And while this is going on, Technus is also chasing after him and chasing after Danny and Jack in the sky. And Arthur's like, now him I can shoot. But he keeps shooting, the bullets pass through him. He's like, what the hell? So Danny, as he's like trying his best to like keep Jack from falling, he's like using one hand to blast at him. And that's when someone else comes along, and that's Skulker, who knocks him out of the sky. Danny grabs Jack and like shields him as it makes them both intangible and phase through a building. In that building, Arthur saw them fall. He didn't see like a splat, but as he's racing up the building, he sees them like fine, and he like pulls a gun on Danny. He goes, you better start talking right now. And Danny's like, okay, it's cool. I'm here to protect him. And look, let's go somewhere else, because those Technus and Skulker, they're gonna come after him. And they're like, why the hell do they want the boy? Like, and what are those things anyway? And Danny's just like, you gotta, I will tell you everything. Shut up and follow me. So Danny literally turns them both invisible and helps them like sneak out of Saint Denis. And then they're like, well, we can't go back. I can't take you guys back home. Can you set up like a camp or something? So Arthur's like, Jack, I know it's been a long day, but can you just lay down and read one of your books? Okay. We lost the books. He's like, I know. I'll get you new ones. Just go stay where I can see you. Okay. I'm gonna go talk to this Danny fella. So Arthur goes up to him and he goes, you got 5 minutes, and that's all I'm giving you. So Danny's like, okay, what I'm about to tell you is like is going to be really hard for you to believe, but it's the truth, and I want you to understand that I am telling you the truth. And he goes, you got 4 minutes. And Danny explains that, look, my name is Danny Fenton, but in my time, I'm a superhero known as Danny Phantom. And he goes, excuse me? Your time? Superhero? And he's like, look, I come from the future. And I have an ally named Clockwork. And Clockwork warned me that several of my enemies have found a way to time travel and find my ancestors. I've been protecting my ancestors throughout time. And Jack's my next one. Jack is the one of them. Jack Marsden is one of those people. And he's like, are you saying you're like Jack's distant grandson? He's like, yeah. Well, I'd call you crazy, but like I just saw you fly, turn invisible, walk through buildings, disappear, fly. I don't believe anything. So they're trying to kill you. You could have not told me you were a superhero time traveler. All you could have said was they're coming to kill the boy, and I'd have been with you. And he goes, yeah. He's like, I know all about your history too, Arthur, and I know you're a good man. And he goes, sure. Let's just protect the kid. Protect the kid. And he's like, and then he realizes, Arthur points out, hold on. If you were going to protect Jack, like this whole thing of like you said you wanted to protect Jack, but you didn't say anything about John or Abigail. It doesn't matter if yeah. And he goes, Danny goes, it sucks, but like they're not going to be interested in John and Abigail. They're Jack is my direct descendant. Killing him keeps me, like, they could at theoret like Skulker, Technus, all the others that are down here, they could kill Abigail and John. It's not going to matter because like Jack is already born. If they kill Jack, though, I don't exist. So I need, like, that's why we need to keep him alive. And then he goes, that boy needs his family. And he's like, I know, but keeping Jack, like, that's where they're going to go first. And he goes, they're going to go to the camp. So Arthur, like, gets on his horse, like, gets a horse, grabs Jack. Like, he's like, you stay here with the boy. I'm going to go warn the camp that we got some bad people coming. So, and Danny's like, no, I need, like, if all else fails, Arthur, you are the only person who can keep Jack alive. I will go and fight them. You're gonna get killed. So Arthur stays with Jack, and Danny goes to the Vanderlyn gang, who already find themselves under siege by Ember, Youngblood, and Spectra. Like, they're already tearing ass. They're like shooting at him. The bullets are passing through, and that's when Danny comes flying in, and he's like, I don't know what's worse: the fact that you three are willingly working together again, or the fact that you think it's funny to pick on someone, to try to attack, because you suck so much. You got to play like a cheap shot of attacking, my ancestors. So Danny fights them, and Dutch and everyone else is just like, what the fuck is this? And after Danny uses the thermos to suck them all up, Danny looks at the Vanderlyn gang, who are all got their guns drawn at him, and he's like, is John and Abigail Marsden alive? And they're like, yeah, what's it to you? Doesn't matter, they're cool, don't worry, Arthur and Jack are alive, I'm gonna go bring them to you. And Dutch and everyone else are like, what the fuck just happened? No, seriously, what the fuck is this? So Danny goes back, but then discovers Skulker has Skulker's already found where Arthur's keeping Jack, and Technus is wrapping him up in wires and shit, and Arthur's just like, fuck you, and just trying to shoot him, and he's like, sure, you're gonna use your primitive guns to try to kill my intellectual mind. And then as Technus is rambling on and on, Danny Arthur just punches him in the face, and she's like, fuck. Skulker's laughing at him. He's like, and Technus is just like, just kill him, just kill that kid. And by that time, Danny just comes flying in, takes out Technus, and Skulker is there holding a blade to Jack's throat, and he's like, it sucks that it's such a shame that our hunt must come to an end, Ghost Child. But if killing this boy means the end of you, I will kill this child over and over again for the pain you have, for the dishonor and pain you have. And that's when Arthur just shoots him in the head, and disables the suit. And he's like, so I guess they got to stay intangible, they have to willingly think about it, huh? And he's like, oh yeah. So Skulker's suit powers down, and Danny sucks him up into the thermos, and yeah. And Arthur's like, so what happens now? You got them all? And he's like, yeah, Arthur, Abigail, the rest of the gang's fine. You guys can head back now. And he's like, but what about you? And he's like, oh, I'm just going to I got to wait to contact Clockwork, and he'll bring me back to my time. But yeah. And he's just like, Jack, don't worry. Everything's going to be fine. You're going to turn out pretty good. And Arthur makes a point before he leaves with Jack, and he goes, something? I figured if you really are a time traveler, you'd really want to keep that a secret from people. Unless they're all gonna die. And he's like, just remember you are a good man, Arthur Morgan. Just remember that you and John and some of the others of your gang are good. So Arthur leaves with that, and Danny returns to his time. So there you go, guys. That is the Danny Phantom Red Dead Redemption crossover. I want to thank. Actually, this wasn't even a Patreon request. Almost said that but yeah, this was just a video idea I just came up on my own. But you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of it? Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.